Hey guys, welcome back. This is episode number 8 of Building and Beyond. Ranqeust here. So I'm back in my creative world, and I wanted to show you some progress that I made. I was working with our front entrance, and I decided to add some pillars to the side of our doorway. And what this does is it actually rounds out the corners of our building, and it allows us to transcend to the sides of the structure. So I was working on before the pillars, I was working on a roofing structure, and it didn't look right. So I decided to try out the pillars, which then negated what I had for a roof. But I think this is a good step. So as you can see here, I built the pillars up the front, and I rounded out the corners, and I have some hidden lighting stowed away. So this piece of glowstone is not really hidden, but uh, I will plan on trying to make that not as noticeable. But if up top here we have another piece of hidden glowstone, which all I did was I punched out 1, 2, and there it is. And if you look back, which night came at the perfect time, I think that it gives the right glow for the tops, and you can't even see where the glowstone is. So again, let's take a look around the side. So we have the pillar which rounds out the corner, and I have nowhere near the length of what this structure will be. That'll come in time, but I worked out a natural spacing in between the pillars. So I started off with 7 spacing in between, and then it just didn't look right. There wasn't enough room. So I decided to go with 9, which doesn't seem like a lot, but it definitely adds a good amount of space. So I'll be able to put either a large picture window in here, or it'll give me room to do things like maybe a fireplace or offices or whatnot, whatever comes to mind at the time. So yeah, so here we'll have another piece of a pillar. It'll go up to the same height, and then I was thinking that we would have probably around 5 pillars in total. So the one here, 3 in the middle, and then we'll have another pillar similar to this where it rounds out to the back of the building, and then do the same thing on the other side, and then figure out a back for it. So this is the progress I've made on the front, and yeah, so it's definitely coming along. So what we'll do is we will switch over to our actual world, and I will go over what has transpired over there. So we'll see you in a second. All right, guys, we're back. So not much has been done to the actual front gate of our buildings, but I have been doing a lot of work in the ravine as well as in the back of the ravine. And that's actually taken most of my time. I've been clearing out a lot more space, working on the floors, and working on a good floor plan for what the shop's layout will be. And I dug out the back of the ravine so that eventually when this building becomes complete, which a lot of this will actually be dug out. In fact, most of this will dug out. I don't know if I'm going to, maybe work with a multi-tiered floor, so I haven't dug out most of it, but this will be quite an endeavor in clearing all of this land to make room for our building. So, but I did work out a pathway for the entrance. So people will come in through the front of the building. They'll come in kind of like in Disney, where you come into the Animal Lodge. You'll go in, there'll be the front desk, there'll be reception because there's going to be hotels in here, and then when you get to the back, you'll come down into the stairway into the touristy area of our city. So I also marked that this level here, so if we hit F3, this level is 67 for a Y, and right here matches the level in which the door is over out in front. So this probably will be where we're going to have to dig to. So again, yes, a lot of clearing will have to be done. But as we go down, we've got a leak. Got to fix that. But as we go down, so it's a gentle curve coming around, not too steep of a stairway here, but as you can see, it just opens up, and here we have what would be our mall and or shopping district. So I finished off the stairway. Again, it curves all the way around. And again, these... Ooh, oh, creeper, creeper. Oh, God, no, 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 no. Oh, you are a bad, bad guy. Trying to blow up my stairway. That's what you get. Ha. So, these trees here, they are way too big. So I've only been planting here just so that I don't have to keep climbing back and forth between our tree farm and here. So occasionally we'll get trees and we'll be able to clear them. And I've also been collecting some of the leaves because I think that I'm going to use the leaves more as like bushes and whatnot. So this grassy area will be filled with plant life and just to make it look pretty and busy, but definitely not with these trees specifically. So we just have to make sure that we're always on the lookout, because a creeper like that would definitely end us pretty quickly, and my armor is not looking so good. I will have to remake that. So, nope, not the bucket. There we go. Excuse me, I'm moving the mic. So, as you can see, I've carved out some spaces here where we can have doorways to different shops and whatnot. So I haven't figured out exactly what shops are going to be in which area, but I know that maybe we'll have some restaurant areas and different stores. I want this area to be as close to what would be like a mall as possible, just because I think that's a good format for setting up any sort of touristy area. I mean, anybody especially in the New England area, there's plenty of malls to go around for reference. So, and right here, what I did, like I mentioned before, I did create a pond area with a little waterfall that comes out the top, and I've added some lighting in the bottom to give it some shine. And my plan for here is possibly to put in like a restaurant area, so there'll be seating that curves all the way around this wall, and then this wall will actually be glassed off, so people that are in the restaurant can look out into the mall and see the garden area and or just look out and enjoy the waterfall as it comes down. So, and then these two shops here, considering they're on the corner of this main area, will be some of the bigger two of the bigger shops, possibly the food area and or like the lumber area. I'm not really sure. I haven't figured 100% all that stuff out. And then I've come till about here where the roads join together, and we'll take one single road that'll bring us to this area, which will, like I've mentioned before, be the end of the touristy area and be the beginning of what would be the actual inner workings of the city. So one thing I haven't come up with is whether or not I'm going to use the existing abandoned mine shaft for the hallways, or if I'm going to carve this way and then use this area and use that. So, but we should do some cleaning, because that's just dirty. Cobwebs. Huh. Ouch. All right. So what I wanted to do for today is I wanted to start working on our centerpiece for this area, and that is going to be with this restaurant. So I'm going to start carving out this way, and then also try to get a good window arrangement for the back here. So it won't be the full out restaurant, but it'll be at least a couple sections of it, and we have a pretty fresh iron pick that we can work with. So I'm going to drop off some stuff from inside my inventory. I do not need the string, saplings, I don't need the bushes, and the sugarcane. That's good enough. Okay. So as we dig through here, again, we have to be careful behind us. We don't know what's going to come up to us, but some of my possible inspirations for this place, I'm not sure what kind of food they'll be serving, but being from the New England area, I know we have a lot of rainforest cafes. If anybody's ever been to Mohegan Sun down in Connecticut, there's a restaurant called Tuscany, and it's actually behind a rock wall with a waterfall flowing down it. So that is also a possibility. Alright, so let's see where we are. I think I want to cut this way. Another leak. That. Nope, I didn't want to actually get that one. 3 high. Alright, so I know it's not fully cut out, but it's enough to give us some windows. So I'm going to grab, I do have some glass stored right over here. And more cobble than I can ever imagine. Okay, so let's dig this out. This will be higher for sure. Crap. Okay, so we've got a partial window cut out. So let's take a look. It's not perfect. It's gonna need some sprucing up, but I think I have just the thing for that. So another thing that I'm gonna want to do is we're gonna want to add some lighting, because I don't want to have to rely on those torches in the outside. I'd like to use as much of the interior lighting to make it not as obvious. Let me carve out a little bit more. So, and we don't want to have the lighting too visible from the outside. Having floor lighting inside the restaurant's okay, but so we got one there, and then we'll throw one right here. And this stuff, if we really don't want to have to see this stuff, we can always hide these with, you know, plant fixtures and things like that that'll allow the light to still shine through at the same amount, at the same rate, but it'll block. So possibly something like that, which right now in a very tight setting doesn't look right. But when all this is going to be prettied up and with tables and a kitchen and all that stuff, it'll just add the right touch to the room. Fill that, and I'm going to need more, but Kitty, I am recording. That is my cat Fion. I think she's trying to signify that it's time for bed, considering it's 11:22 at night currently where I am. So the one thing that we're looking at here is we have these windows, which I definitely like the way the windows are coming out. I like the fact that they kind of curve around what will be this restaurant. But the only thing that is missing here is the fact that the building isn't really textured. And so all that you see right here is kind of a flat wall with a flat piece of glass. So there are ways that we can combat that, if you will. And we're going to go and make an example. And we may not necessarily use the stone brick stairs. We could use something like a cobblestone stair, or you know, maybe different wood stairs. But we do have a lot of different options. But one thing that I like to do is possibly something like this. So we'll throw up a stair here, and again, there's even more options that we can do, but which that may not work there. So we may have to figure out how to maneuver that guy into a different area, but it'll stay for now. So we can do a couple different things. We can choose to possibly kind of make like a little alcove where that sticks out, and all this would end up being converted to maybe, you know, a brick, or we can choose to not necessarily use two stairs, but we can use maybe a stone brick and give us kind of like a little windowsill look, a little divot. And then again, we can do that, or we can kind of do the reverse factor. We do that, and then possibly have that. So you have the little lip right at the bottom, and then the rest comes out. And then we can also, let's see, how do we want to do this? You can also try to do either an overhang, like that. Again, maybe not necessarily in the brick, or we can do something like that, or we can actually even inlay it inside as well. So there's a whole bunch of different options that we can do there, which I don't think I like this specific version. But so let's work on this a little bit more. So if we're gonna go with that look, we'd fill it in like this, and then cut in. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually round that off in there. I don't think I'm actually going to do that. I lied. So let's carve this. Oops. So let's take a step back and look. And yeah, so I mean, it's not perfect as of right now, but it definitely spruces up that back where it's not necessarily just a smooth wall that we're looking at. So but yeah, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a cut here. I'm going to carve out a little bit more of this restaurant area and try to hollow it out so that we can get a good building, some different furnishings that we can work on in here. So I will see you in a second. Hey guys, welcome back. So I said I was going to pause to work on our little restaurant area for a little bit, and it actually took me a couple days. I had it was late at night. I decided I really needed to get to bed, and because I had work the next day. But from there, I didn't really have much time to record. I had a lot of things that I had to just get done, either through work or for my eventual wedding that's coming up. But yeah, so I think I started recording on Sunday, and it's now Wednesday. But this is what we're looking like. This isn't anything that's finalized, but I dug out a good chunk of what would be our little restaurant, and I've added some placeholder seating, as you can see. So you have some regular, 4 tables, some smaller 2 tables that are a little cozier towards the windows. These are just kind of placeholders. They're not really important. And then you get your corner slot. If you see this cobblestone here, I actually dug into the ravine. I meant the ravine, the abandoned mine shaft a little bit. So I had to block that off. And so what I did over here is just a placeholder again. This is like your little bar area where you'll have some worker back here and to be able to give up some drinks. And then also back here would be the kitchen. And the reason why I wanted to do a restaurant, and again, part of this isn't necessarily practical as far as Minecraft goes. Partly because this is a single player, and partly because there's no real restaurant functionality within it. But I wanted this corner to be thematically correct as far as a touristy area. And so when we're looking at this area as a whole, you've got the corner slot with the waterfall. You got a nice window slot here. And again, this isn't finished. I went with a little quartz, some quartz pillars. Maybe I'll brighten it up a little bit. Some dark wood overhangs. Again, this is all subject to change. Just getting something down to look at, and there's a bat up there. But yeah, so what this place could be, other than just having a placeholder building, is you will have, the restaurant area here, but we can also have the kitchen, which is, important. So you'll have ovens, which there's a couple other things I'd want to do to add to the ovens. I've seen in some various other Let's Plays, you can use detector rails to kind of look like grill tops, and we may throw those on there. And then I used the stone half slabs kind of as like the prep area. So what we'll have here is, just again, not anything functional, but we'll have the prep area here. And the one thing that we do need, which we'll dig in that way, is a freezer or a storage area for some of the raw foods. So what we can do in this area is we can actually host most of our food in there, and that will allow us to, if we're hungry, we come into the restaurant, cook up some food for ourselves, and we'll be good to go rather than, just kind of doing it on the fly. So we can, there's definitely some functionality that we can squeeze out of the restaurant area, but a lot of it was really, building some sort of themed pretty area for our area. So this episode is, if I remember correctly, was a little bit on the long side. So I just wanted to update you guys on exactly what was going on. I needed to get out another episode, and I'll start working on the next episode. So let me know what you guys think. What should we see in here? I'll probably be putting maybe down some carpets, changing the flooring up. I wasn't sure. I was thinking maybe I wanted to lower this floor here. I wanted to figure out, see if we can, fit in possibly like a chandelier. So maybe we have to raise the roof a little bit more. And tell me if you like these quartz pillars here. So if you do, we'll keep them. But again, nothing is ever set in stone. Everything can always be changed. And then, I'll start, doing some work as far as looking into what else we're going to need. But to get this restaurant to be up and running, we're going to need a couple things. So in a restaurant, you're going to have your vegetables, you're going to have your meats, and you're going to have your opening bread. So you get a bread basket every time. So we have some chickens, and we've got the vegetables, so we've got potatoes, and we got carrots, and then we also have our grains working. And the one thing that we do need to make any sort of restaurant, worthwhile is we're going to need a good source of beef. So I think next episode I'm going to go on the hunt for some cows, and we'll have to set up a farm. And again, we may just hold the cows over in our little mini pen over there just for the time being, but we're definitely going to want to actually set up an animal farm / slaughterhouse area, and that may actually end up being further in the ravine. We may not put the animal products in this area, which probably makes more sense because, hearing that's another one, pigs, we need some pork. So hearing pigs and cows scream in pain after we slaughter them is probably not something that will be attracting tourists very often. So maybe next time. So, but either way, we're going to need the cows. We're going to want, leather for plenty of bookshelves. We're going to need a library. We're going to need a lot of different things that are going to be, small additions to our city. So, but anyways, so that's gonna do it for this episode. Tell me what you think. Leave me, if you liked the episode, leave a like, add some comments, subscribe to my channel, because it'll definitely help out. It'll show that, you'll like what we're doing here. Hello, Creeper, I see you. Don't be a pest. Oh, you're not gonna dive down. Oh yeah, we got a Skelly up there, and he's scoping out the place. He's thinking ahead. He wants to stay in our underground hotel. But anyways, so that's it for this episode. We will see you next time. All right, bye-bye.
Here we go.